If you smell what the truck is cooking.
It's Devon Street exclusive.
We're rolling.
Welcome to Brock Says.
Oh, yes. Out with the intro straight up. My man. Welcome, boys. Episode 10. We've hit the double digits. How good?
Oh, glad to be here, mate.
Yeah,
Glad. Number 10, that's an important one. Yeah.
Double digits is always a good start.
And
Yeah.
it means I've taken it seriously enough to actually make it this far. So
Yeah.
I'm happy about it.
Yeah, we're about to hit double digits in years. We've been running the brand, so we can resonate with that.
Is it 8 or it's 9 now?
It's coming. It's probably 9. It'll be 9 in summer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be 9 in when we hit summer. So in a few
It's a
months.
bit of a grey area because we kind of didn't really count those first years because we were just stuffing around.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what, man? We can talk a bit more about it after, but I feel like me and Harry, like with Devon Street and stuff, the first two, we were just like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we don't actually know what we're doing. Like, so much of it is just learning.
Yeah.
And we're at a point now where we know how much we want to take it seriously. But now it's like we're at the start again to an extent, like getting into like, I've got a million questions after about it, but like getting into like custom manufacturing and everything like that. You literally just like back to the start of like
100%.
how to construct a garment and everything like that.
That saying, like, you don't know what you don't know, it is so true. As you continue to grow on, you're like, okay, I think I've got a handle on this. Then all of a sudden, a new problem comes up or a new aspect of the business comes up and you go, we don't know anything.
Like, yeah, and I said this I can't remember what episode it was, but a while back. And I was like, I had a couple of my mates on who are musicians, like they're in a band together. And we spoke a lot about like imposter syndrome. Like diving into something that you're really interested in, but you've got no experience in, but you're doing it and you're learning on the way and it's fucking fun and it's all great. But I don't know whether you boys have ever had that. You get to a point where you're like, am I even equipped to be even doing this?
For this.
100% still get that.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
It's, that's a whole nother fucking can of worms, really,
100%.
isn't it? But
what do they say? They say that like the amateur feels like he's a pro, but as a pro becomes more pro, they feel like more of an amateur.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Like as you learn more about something, you realize you don't know anything about it, but as you begin and like you're starting it, you think you've got it all sorted out right away.
Yeah, it's totally oblivious.
Yeah, 100%. That's
it's full. Yeah, you're literally so naive, but that's what's good, I reckon.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of where you want to make all your mistakes, because it's like
exactly.
not a big, you don't have so much invested into it all, and you can kind of make those mistakes and learn from it before it's a big deal.
Exactly. Yeah. So usually the first question I ask, I usually give all my guests a bit of a prompt the night before at least, so they can think about it before they go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
Which is who was their favourite WWE wrestler growing up? But you boys have made me aware that you did not fuck with it at all. So
I know some names. I know Brock Lesnar, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Well done.
And then CM Punk. I know both of those guys because they were in the UFC.
Yep. I like that.
That's it.
I like that. So,
dude, I got no idea.
you got no idea?
John Cena.
Yep.
John Cena,
Good. Yeah.
the dude who walks through the wall.
Who does he walk?
Doesn't
through
John
the
Cena?
walls?
Is that John Cena who like breaks through the wall and like?
I don't know what you're watching, mate.
No, mate.
I think I'm thinking about something else. Might have been a random
They got
YouTube
different
video.
WWE down in Bitten.
So,
Wait, that's the Kool-Aid guy.
yeah, Family Guy, wrong one. How does that go again? He barges through the court.
Oh, yeah.
So good. So my follow-up question to that: I've only ever had one guest not know who, or not follow WWE, so they didn't have an answer at all. So my question to you now is, what would be your fight song as you enter the ring? Whether it be whatever sort of fight, whether you're a boxer, if you're a WWE man.
Good question.
Well,
Is that a good one?
You've already had a walk-in song, Balls, but didn't they put the wrong one on us?
Oh, yeah. Actually, funny story to that. First fight I ever had,
So this is boxing?
Yeah, boxing match.
Yeah.
I had my first ever boxing match and he chose a walkout song. And I chose this song and then they put the totally wrong song on. And I thought it was the biggest omen. I thought I was going to get fucking knocked out in the first minute when that song came.
Wow.
I was standing there with my trainer at the back and we're about to walk out. And then they played Here Comes the... You remember the song? Here Comes the Boom.
Yeah.
The worst song of all time. The most cringe song
That's
ever.
right.
And that's what came on. And I'm like... I'm like, this is not my song. And he goes, well, it is now. He's like, fuck.
So how many flights have you had?
2.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are
2.
they recent or are they?
Yeah, not really recent now. Probably the last one was probably about a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm done with it anyway.
You finished?
Yeah, I don't have any more. It's just it's too much mental capacity.
That is
just like the lead up and just all mental. I enjoy training and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I'm done.
Yeah. Well, a lot of my mates would be
Undefeated,
interested.
Which is the main thing.
Had to get that in
I
there.
don't know why I didn't ask that. I just brushed past
People are
it.
hesitant
Just
to ask sometimes.
assumed you lost, maybe.
Well, you chose the worst song in the world. So,
So what was the song? That you originally
the actual
chose.
song I wanted was this song by this hip hop artist called Little Ugly Man, and it was called "Throw Them Guns." It's like this,
Wow.
like really.
Should I look it up?
Yeah, look it up. But it's
it called?
it's called "Throw Them Guns." Throw DEM guns.
Gangster.
It's super gangster. Sums it. Yeah.
I don't mind it.
All right, now I'm getting.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So check that one out. But
Southpaw or
what's that? Sorry.
are you a Southpaw?
Orthodox.
Okay.
Yeah, Orthodox.
I'm
I don't know
both.
what
so-
you guys are
Oh,
talking
bullshit.
about.
I'm both. So if you,
I'm starting to scoot away.
you're like, which ones are going to
Create
be?
some distance here.
So, all right, that's your song. I don't mind that.
I
That's good.
reckon, I was just having a bit of think about it then. I reckon one of the songs I used to always put on at the end of the day in the studio to like pump me up to like keep working was, remember I used to always play Kick in the Door by Biggie?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
And it's got
yeah.
a really sick beat. It
Yeah.
starts off with a really sick beat and I reckon that'd be a good one.
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
sick. That has like a real
that's
good
very
build
But
up.
then I'd get out there and the dude would just be like, mate, you're this like skinny little bloke.
Kick him in the ass.
That doesn't matter though. That doesn't matter at all.
Don't intimidate.
Well, I'm glad I feel like I want to ask that question more now. Maybe I should ask both. Like, even if people do have like a favorite WWE wrestler, I'll just be like,
What was your song going to be?
well, I actually don't have one because I'm just so, WWE. That's all I care about. So I don't actually have. That's just like a backup question for the people like you that don't actually have a favorite WWE wrestler.
Just to spin it around, what would your walkout song be then, if you had to choose one?
Fuck.
Put you on the spot. Mate, you've had
see
some
that one
time to
comes
think
up.
about it.
Spotify. Street. I actually, you know what? Maybe like everyone seems to go for like more, the rap genre.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
something that's just like a little bit really left field. Like I
would
like
rate that.
anything that I'd like to do. I don't like, gonna go against the grain, but then to the left a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe something like a little bit like poppy.
There's a UFC fighter, Tai Tuivasa, who's an Australian dude. He just fought on the weekend.
Yeah,
He
the-
came out to Spice Girls.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He won a.
Yeah.
He
Knocked the dude out. Like
Yeah.
a net.
Which song? Which Spice Girl song?
Tell me what you want. What you really
Yeah, I like that.
And he's-
Fuck.
That is epic.
It's amazing.
Wow.
I reckon that's awesome.
Maybe like, you know what I've been smashing? I mean, I've always loved her.
Yeah.
And I've got a few mates that love her as well. Maybe I just come out to like some Missy Higgins or something.
Fuck yeah, that'd be
Like-
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
choice.
steer or something. special two.
Special two.
Yeah.
Special two would be
That
good.
would be epic. I'd
Yeah.
rate
But
that.
then also like, I mean, I could go about going over this forever, but do you guys like Dear Seattle? Are you Dear Seattle fans?
Nah,
You don't know 'em?
don't know.
Okay, forget about it. It's not important.
I just
Anyway.
listen to 808
You could
hip-hop
call
beats.
you could call your punching arms your special two.
Yeah.
That's how much I know about boxing. I just said punching arms.
Punching arms.
Your
Wow.
fists.
Well, I didn't even pick up on it. So you literally could fault me. Yeah,
As
like,
opposed to you kicking arms.
and that's my like Dustin Diamond Poirier.
Yeah.
Brock Special 2 Kennedy.
Yeah, special too.
Wow, that's
good one.
fucking
I like
awesome.
that. That's
Okay,
good.
are we still rolling here? I've had this issue before that we've just been talking and it's not recording, but we're good.
We're good.
We're rolling.
Be an expensive trip from South Isles.
Yeah, literally. Well, at least I know within myself that I've made it and I actually had the conversation. So anyway, so
No worries.
I guess moving into more serious stuff, so I guess for everyone listening or watching, because you're both Josh.
Yeah.
Josh Meyer,
Josh Meyer.
sorry, and Josh
Brown.
Brown.
Yeah.
How do you distinguish between the two?
Well,
Do you have a certain nickname?
Meatballs has got a pretty iconic nickname.
Meatballs.
Yeah, meatballs.
Yeah.
I get meatballs
Oh,
more than I
Is
would
that-
get Josh.
is that forever? Is that a
It's
forever thing?
been since I was 15 years old, 14 years old, 15 years old, I'd say.
So we met working at the local surf shop.
Yeah.
And
Here
we kind of
by the way,
Yeah.
we're actually in Mornington right now.
Yeah.
yeah
For everyone listening or watching.
Better now, south of Melbourne.
Exactly.
yeah
That was going to be my question. So, how would you describe your friendship, and how did the snake hole form? Is that all intertwined in like a similar sort of time frame, or
Yeah, it's a pretty long story and it's a pretty long time frame. Like
Yeah.
in terms of from when we met to, we did a lot of things in terms of work wise before we started the snake hole.
this
like,
exactly? Yeah. So I'm the king of cutting people off, by the way. Sorry, yeah, in case you haven't noticed.
It's been pretty smooth.
So what I was going to say was, obviously, I'm aware, and Harrison is definitely aware of, like, we've tracked you. We've gone back and we've tracked your journey.
sick.
We've read stuff about you. We know what's happening. But for those that haven't heard, so like you said, the snake hole. This is its 9th year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
me and Brownie, like I said, we met in a surf shop and we just kind of clicked straight away. Just similar people. We both love like surfing and, just art and design and stuff like that.
Yep.
And at the time when I met Josh, actually, he's 1 year older than me. We both got the same birthday.
Oh
We're
right.
both December 10, but
Fuck.
he's 1 year older.
So it was like
Wow.
one of those like, did we just become best
Yeah,
friends?
yeah.
moments?
Stepbrother moment.
Yeah,
I like that.
exactly.
Very
So
good.
I remember he was a year ahead. I think I was in year 12 and he was studying at TAFE he was doing graphic design.
Yeah.
I was kind of unsure what I wanted to do at that point. I thought I wanted to do something in design, but I really liked product design as well, and potentially even like architecture. But I remember seeing like Josh's folio and stuff, and just being like, I want to be like that dude.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and so,
So how old were you both
I
at
was
this point?
17. He would have been 18.
Okay.
At the time.
Yep.
And then, so I literally went and did the exact same course as he did.
Yep.
I just
Nice.
followed in his footsteps.
Very good.
Poor bastard.
Yeah.
So were you guys like the same? Did you guys go to uni and start together, or were
We
you
went to
always
we
in?
weren't smart enough to go to uni.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tried to get into uni and I
What
tried.
went wrong?
I got an A letter for my folio, and then they were like, "Yeah, cool. Like you're all good. You just need to get your enter score." For the back in the day, I think it's like, what's it now? Like the VCE score or whatever for
Yeah.
year 12. And I needed 70, and I ended up getting 69.7, and
Way
they didn't
better
let
number
me
to get
in.
anyway, though.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
He did it for the lols. He's like, just deliberately got a few questions wrong.
Purposely got one question wrong in the
but it
exam.
kind of turned out for the good because like I don't have a hex debt now.
Yeah.
and,
Can't
like,
relate.
I was going to go.
Yeah.
I went to TAFE so that I could go to uni, and then I just didn't end up going to uni. I was
Yeah, right.
into the workforce.
Yep.
and
Yep.
It was sweet, but so now I don't have like a 20 grand hex debt, which I
Yeah.
was stoked about.
Mine's double that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fucking not
20
good.
grand, that's cute.
I literally don't think about it. I've
Yeah,
just
it's a good
completely
move.
blocked it
Yeah.
from the forefront.
Just make it under the threshold for the rest of your life. And you never have to
that
pay
is
it
the
back.
plan. That is
Yeah.
actually the plan. Do some
Coast along.
You're in the right business.
Yeah, if the business is, actually work out and start to go north a bit, just evade some
Yeah,
tax
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
whatever else. But
Just make the company can just keep buying assets.
yeah, literally,
Yeah, yeah.
there's ways around it. Of course there is.
But yeah, so then, sorry to bring up to where the snake hole started. Then we went and we started working like industry jobs. Like, I was working like ad agencies, and Josh was working at one point. He was working
Marketing agency.
Yeah.
And
and then he was working over at Insight, the surf brand.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. And Subi and those guys, which were like back in 2010, they were like really cutting edge Australian like surf skate kind of
Yeah.
fashion labels. Like they were doing really, really good stuff. And
mainly
then
for like the art direction and like the campaign shoots that they did were insane. They
Yeah.
did, like crazy installations and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
and then what happened then? They fell apart a bit.
Yeah, I ended up moving back. That was up in Sydney, so I moved up there for a couple of years, and then
Yeah.
I moved back and moved into the back of my dad's factory, and just like cleared out a space for a studio, and then like Meatballs moved in,
Yep, yep.
and we were just freelancing, and then
So is that like all you guys were doing at that point? Like
we were
yeah.
freelancing, and we were turning the space on the weekends into like an art gallery and like party venue,
Yeah.
and a place for like bands to come and perform. So we'd get like at one point we had like the Skegs come and play there.
Oh,
before that.
sick.
Now they're fucking huge.
Yeah. I've forgotten.
Yeah.
I forget where you come from.
The radar. Yeah. We get royalties still. Yeah, we used to have like parties and just promote art shows, and it was purely there. Well, number one, probably for like a piss up, but also for like just to have like a local scene for crew to come through.
So was that all in?
Yeah, it was just up the
Mornington?
road from here. It
Yeah,
was
right.
just up the road from
Okay.
here.
It was a pretty cool time because at that point there wasn't much going on in Mornington for young crew. Like a lot of kids were finishing high school, going to uni, and just moving to the city.
Yeah, well,
Because there wasn't a scene here. Like
that's I've got that written down. I've got a little bit of stuff written down here, but I like the fact that you've brought that up because so Harrison and I are both from Kingston originally, like population 2,000 people.
Yeah, so super small.
3.5 hours away from Adelaide, and then we're like very late onto the scene of like everything that we're doing. So like the reason I bring that up now is because how you spoke of here in Mornington, you know, like the culture was sort of like, I guess, non-existent or falling apart to an extent. Like, and Adelaide is so much like that now. Like it just has always been. And I wanted to ask you both, like, has that been, because it got to a point probably about 12 months ago where Harrison and I were like, is there enough here for us to create this idea of what we've got and what we want to achieve? Like, and you can either look at it, I don't know if you boys see it the same way, but you can either look at it as, there's no culture here, we're not going to be able to achieve it, or you can see that as like a gap in the market and then actually be the ones to create it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Is that what
I think it's almost easier to like create something like that in a space that doesn't have it.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
It's not oversaturated.
Not saturated at all. Yeah.
And we found like when we started doing parties and stuff, it was such an organic kind of process because everyone wanted it. Like everyone was like, you know, really keen to, you know, when we started doing art shows, crew were coming along and going, what's going on? Can you buy the artwork? Or like they had no idea how it all worked.
Yeah.
And we were kind of educating the younger crew around, you know, galleries and things like that. And it was really cool to see them just get excited about it.
Yeah.
And it was something really new for them. And it's changed a lot now. Like, you know, the peninsula is becoming more and more. People are like wanting to come down from the city to check it all out, which is really cool to see.
Yeah, that's sick. We, I feel, I mean, whether it's been, because Harrison and I, like I told you before, like we've tracked you guys for probably like the last 2 or 3 years, been really like involved on your like social media and stuff. We're always sending each other like when you posted something new and everything, like fuck,
I appreciate that, man.
So good to hear. Yeah.
But like we feel like how I explained to you before, like in Adelaide, like the culture isn't quite there yet. But we have taken that path of like we feel like we can do the same thing. So like creating that culture and
Definitely, man.
It can be like you guys are probably like you'd understand, you've been through it, but like it can be like deflating at times because you're like, fuck, like do people actually want this? Like something might not go as well as what you'd hoped, and then it can just be deflating. But then like we always have those moments where some like people will message us and they like, whether it just be a compliment or they're asking like, oh, when's your next thing coming out, or when are you hosting like your next event and stuff. And it's those moments where you're like, fuck, like there is interest here.
Yeah.
It just has to be us, the ones that really push it and market it to people in a cool way.
100%.
I guess.
That saying like build it and they will come, it's completely true.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, have you heard of Round Two before?
I haven't, no.
They're a huge like vintage store in
LA?
In LA. Well, they're from Richmond, Virginia originally.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was like I heard them talk about the exact same thing. Richmond, Virginia is like not known for culture and young crew and stuff like that. And they just loved like sneakers and like vintage stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And they had the same thing. They were saying when they first started, they were like, we just building a business in a place with no culture, and that was similar to what we had. And then they've, you know, now they're huge in America.
Yeah.
They're absolutely massive. And I think that like everyone thinks that you need to go to like Melbourne, or if you're in America, you need to be in LA to start like a brand or something like that. But the reality is that there's plenty for people to like. There's plenty for everyone to eat.
Yeah.
If you set it up the right way.
Exactly.
And like there's always going to be a way into the market despite the size of it.
Yeah, you guys would be aware of like Street X as well, and how they're a massive advocate for that as well. Of like the fact of obviously Perth is so far out of the way, but they really have started to create.
They built
that
a huge culture around their brand, and that's what it is. They do that really, really
their culture
well.
and their like almost like their message or their mission is like, fuck everyone on the East Coast. Like, here's where it's at, sort of thing. And like, there's like, they still link up with like brands and stuff on the East Coast and everything, and it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah.
But like, to the community, to the people that are living in Perth, that'd be like, yes, like that is so good. Like, it's just like
something they can get around.
Yeah, something they can get around.
Have a connection to as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's about the story you tell and that you build. And making it something that resonates with people for sure.
Yeah.
And building a community of people around the brand that's with, like-minded people.
And that's what you want anyway. You want to be around those people anyway.
Exactly.
You'd rather have 5 genuine people than 100 blow-ins who don't really have a real relation with your brand.
100%. And we've definitely found that. In terms of like, we've never wavered in like, officially we've been doing Devon Street for probably like 2.5 years, I think now, but probably for the last 12 months we've taken it really seriously, and
That's
like
awesome,
we understand the direction we want to like push it towards and everything. But that probably leads us to like what I was going to ask earlier was, so do you guys have like defined roles in what you do here, or do you like both sort of do you have defined roles where like if someone asks you what you like you do Meatballs, would it be like, oh, this is my role?
We definitely cross over a few things.
Yeah.
There's a few things we cross over for sure, and the boys certainly have defined roles.
Yeah.
Initially when you start the business, is you're 2.5 years in now, so you're further along the track than starting. But when you're in the business, you're like you wear all the hats, right? Like you're a photographer, you're answering DMs, you're like packing and posting the product and stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And then as you scale, naturally you'll progress into like, I just don't have time to
need to delegate
post orders anymore, so we need to get crew involved. So definitely me and Josh now have more of like a overseeing kind of role in terms of the day-to-day runnings of the business. We're doing less like we're not really posting orders or like doing the product photography and stuff as much anymore. I would say like Josh's role would probably be more like as like, I don't know, art director as well. He does like a lot of like the illustration stuff and gives a lot of direction to the boys in terms of graphics, even though like I still have my hand in it a little bit as well and develop a few graphics myself as well.
Yeah.
But I'd say like my side would probably be more like the way as a business, how it runs and how it operates. And then we kind of cross over and like, but we still come together every day, have meetings over like, direction, strategy, marketing and stuff.
Yeah, and it's definitely like, I mean, Harrison and I have noticed as well, like how important it is to both be, capable of like filling in for the other if it's necessary, but like, because otherwise, like, it's just going to fall in a hole to an extent. 100%. So like, for example, like, and that's, I've got a million fucking questions running through my head right now. which one's going to come out my mouth first? But like, Josh, what would you say like your defined role is?
Like as in,
so like if someone were to ask you, Meatballs has said what his was.
Yeah.
Did you answer that?
Yeah.
I was saying I was probably more like business side, and Brownie's probably a bit more creative.
So, even though we both kind of jump on a bit of both, but as Meatballs said, like you can't do everything, and I think you learn that early on. Early on, we'll both kind of just jump around doing stuff, and then
it's also important to do everything at the start.
So you know.
Really important.
That's probably a good way of explaining it, because like I was trying to say before, like if someone's can't do it because they're busy working somewhere else or whatever, if they just can't do it, you need to be able to do it yourself, essentially. But
that's super important.
But
it's also important to kind of have your own roles and own those roles as well.
That's what we've really found the last probably 6 months is like, how, like we knew what else. I said to Harrison, like, I want you to tell me what my strengths are so it's from your perspective, and I'll tell you what yours are, and then you tell me what my weaknesses are, and I'll tell you what yours are.
That's
really good.
Man.
Yeah,
that's
like,
such a good.
It just got to a point, and we were both like, "Fuck, we need to do that."
Yeah.
And it's we're good enough friends now we've known each other, been best mates since we were like fucking 9.
Yeah.
So like we can say whatever we want to each other and no one's going to get offended.
Yeah. It's a perfect relationship. Like I feel like me and Balls are like that as well. Like
Yeah.
you develop a pretty thick skin and like there'll be days where I'll like put together a graphic or something. I'll be like, this is sick. And I'll show it to Balls and he's just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm like, yep, cool. I'll start again. No worries.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but if you, like, it's literally like, I mean, I was going to say it's the age-old thing in business, but like I've been in business for fucking 2 minutes. But but like it is really, isn't it? Like if you're not honest and you've got a whole heap of like yes men around you, then it's not going to be like the best it can be. You're not going to get the best out of each other.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, we've been lucky with, like, the boys, like, they've got their own opinions and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've been in ad agencies before and it's full of yes men because they're trying to get to the next level and they've got to, like, you know, they're working under creative director and they're like, I want to be creative director one day. So whatever concept they put together, I'm just going to run with it every single time. And we push back on stuff all the time and it really is like iron sharpens iron. Yeah. If you're constantly batting, the same way, blacksmith works. If you're constantly batting something down, you're going to get a really hard, sharp, detailed piece at the end. Yeah.
So with your team, how many do you have outside of you two boys? Is it the two I met?
Yeah. So Tommy and Sammy at the moment. And Sammy does all of our like content, photo shoots. Yeah, killer. And then Tommy does all the graphic design, does like a lot of the Instagram graphics and that kind of thing. And then he takes care of the warehouse as well.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah.
Do you find like I don't know, like you said, Meatballs, you take care of a lot of like the business side of stuff. Josh, you do more of like the creative sort of direction stuff. Because one of my main questions when I came here, I was like, I found it really interesting. Like, do you ever find it hard within yourself to like balance the whole like creative and business? Like, because obviously like you want to do as much creative stuff as you can as well. Do you feel that way?
I feel like one thing for sure, like, I don't know if maybe it's not what people want to hear and stuff, but like the reality is that like you get to a certain point where you really need to start, you can't just come in and design like some loud outlandish graphic and just expect to sell. Yeah. Like at some point you really do need to cater for your market. Yeah. And that was probably the hardest thing that we just tried to shut down for so long. And it was probably a reason
I can relate. Holy shit.
Yeah. It's probably a reason for like we had, we could have got to where we are now a little bit quicker if we'd done that rather than be like, we're going to tell you what's cool. Yeah. Like actually listen to customers and be like, okay, that's a good point.
Because you got to have a really good understanding of where you sit in the market and what your customers want from you. Yeah. And obviously that's dictated from what you've done in the past. So if something does really well, people want more of it and it kind of flows on from there. Yeah.
I like when we've like first started and going on from like what you were explaining, like we were, and I mean me more inclined, that was probably where Harrison and I differed a little bit and where we sort of learned that we differed in what we actually both liked more. Was like originally I liked more louder stuff that was like completely the opposite direction to what anyone else liked, and probably what our customers were interested in, and even like our close friends. But like because it was at the beginning, like those sort of closer to us were more than happy to support. Yes. But now we're in a spot now where
have customers anymore.
We don't those fucking fake friends. those fake friends. They're not interested in it. Yeah. And now like with Harris and I've like gotten to a place where we've met in the middle where it's like, okay, we know our customers like still things that are unique pieces. Our customers fucking love embroidery the most. Yeah. But they don't want the design to be really big and over the top, but they would still want it to be like detailed and intricate and stuff. So like that sort of thing, nailing down what we still like and what we still think is unique, but then also what our customers are going to love the most.
It's like a compromise basically.
Yeah,
it's
you
like
meet in the middle.
You want to put something out there that's crazy over the top. And then you got to find like a middle ground.
Yeah.
It's like
having this one big statement piece which you're going to it's going to shoot really well in the photo shoots.
Yeah.
It's going to look sick.
Yeah.
But then you've also got to have this like more kind of pared back styles that are really wearable for the general everybody. You know, like,
and that's probably where you were going with the fact of like that's where the business side of things comes into it. Like
making those decisions where we're like, okay, those graphics are fire, and I want to make 15 different colorways of that. But the reality is, we need some clean logo stuff in there.
Yeah.
We need some stuff that like, because one of my mates made a good point a while ago, and it stuck with me. He was like, the reason that like he gets a bit of our logo stuff, and he's like, I love the loud stuff, but he's like, the thing is, if I wear loud stuff out on the weekend, and if I go out a couple of weeks later, I can't wear it again because people are going to remember that I was.
That's the loud piece.
Whereas like your logo stuff, you can wear that daily.
Yeah.
And like it makes sense just from a functional point of view.
Yeah. I think probably like, I reckon, I don't know, you could probably agree, like where like the pushback for me anyway comes from is like, I don't want it to look like any other brand's piece. So like you almost go too far to the other end of like.
It's like tuning a radio.
Yeah,
it goes clear and then it goes crackly again, and then you got to tune it back the other way.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because like, I mean, obviously it's a saturated market
Yeah.
now. We've designed stuff before. We've had like, because obviously with the collections you need to design like 6 to 8, 10 months in advance.
Yeah.
We've had stuff designed ready to go to the printers, and then someone's just like another brand's brought something out that's like really similar.
Wow.
Which we've like never seen before, and we're like, we got to pull it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to look like we just ripped them straight off.
Yeah.
So we've done that plenty of times where we've been like, it's just too close, or like too close to subject matter or something rather. So
it's tough, isn't it? Like especially like you said, having to like be that far in advance, like then. But that's the reality of it, isn't it? Like those things are going to happen, like regardless.
Yeah.
Pretty much every time you're going to something like we met, like Harrison always say, and it's literally like fuck. Like there's always going to be something that's going to not go the way you planned. But like now you just learn to accept that, and then a lot of it, like 75% of the time, something better will like often comes from it because like you have to adapt and like you have to adapt so quickly.
Yeah,
to it, I guess.
That's something we've really learned is just adapting quickly to things. Like
you're
always getting these big hurdles that hit you, and you just got to figure it out and just keep rolling, keep that momentum going. Yeah. Because as soon as the momentum stops, it just gets 10 times harder.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess that's like a good segue into it. Like you guys have been in here for a year now. So that was in the middle of like sort of all the COVID crap happening. Did that, like you said before, maybe I was like that. Did that accelerate?
Yeah, we were already in talks of like we'd already really run our space out. Like, our old places. If you imagine like a 40-foot shipping container, that's essentially what it was.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It wasn't that, but we just say it's a shipping container because it was shaped like that. So we're at that time too. We had Sammy in the studio as well, and we had like the photography set up in there as well as like the shop, like a little shop front, and just like if we want to shoot, we'd have to like pull the shop apart, bring the photography rolls in, shoot, and then we're holding all the stock. And at that point too,
just the logistics of it all was fucked.
My parents had a spare room who lived down the road, and I'd turned their spare room into like our inventory set. Like I'd put like pallet racking in this room and shit like that. So we were
so annoying because
we were losing friends everywhere.
An order would come through and I'd be like,
fake
sweet,
friends.
it's down at the warehouse. I got to drive down there, pick it up, bring it back, take it to the post office.
So we were already like, we'd kind of just got to, like not enough room in the space and it just wasn't usable.
Yeah.
So we were already thinking about it, and then the pandemic happened. And when that first happened, we thought we could be fucked here.
Yeah.
It was like, we're trying to figure out like how we're going to be able to ship orders and stuff.
I was going to say, like, were you at a point in your
lucky.
business where like you're almost too far gone, like well, not too far gone, but like too, I don't know if this even makes sense, but like you're so established that like there is no really going back, sort of thing. Like for example, if it was nothing ever was going to happen to me and Harry because like we weren't so far established that we're going to lose all this money or anything like that. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Because we had already like stock, like we'd already obviously paid for stock and it was all sitting there. We're like, how are we even going to ship this out and stuff? But luckily, like the government gave an exemption for businesses that had to fulfill online orders.
Oh, yeah.
So we were able to still pack and ship and stuff. But we were very lucky. It seemed like we got crazy busy through the COVID period. Like
through that May, that first it just kind of coincided with winter drop. So,
And I think it had to do with people not being able to go out on the weekends and things like that.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
were just taking there, and a lot of the people were getting money from the government too. So I think that they were just buying
Treat themselves.
Yeah, buying
How
jumpers.
good.
Like we were just selling fleece.
Yeah.
And I think a lot
we
of
couldn't
people
hold on to the fleece. We were like launching and stock was gone by the morning. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, you know, usually it's
This
the
is
other way
hectic.
around and we're like, oh, we can't get rid of this stock. We're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like, far out. What are we going to do now? It's like another, it's great, but it's also another problem because you're like, you've got nothing.
Now you can't keep up, and you've
Yeah.
got that is probably one of the main things that we've found as well. Obviously on much smaller scale, but like you're not able to like staying relevant is so fucking important. But you don't want to smash the same content of the same shit because people are just going to
that's
get
the hard
annoyed.
bit.
Like if I see that happening with a brand that I like, it gets annoying.
Yeah,
like it honestly
100%.
gets annoying. That's
as
the
much
reality
as you
of it.
like the brand, it's still annoying.
It's like, oh, that's too much.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, like if you're not hearing from them at all, it's like, what way do you go? So
It's a fine line.
Yeah.
That was that was a big reason as well for like around the same time as the pandemic, like probably about 6 to 9 months before that, we decided to move to like almost like a weekly drop format.
yeah, right.
And that really helped us through then too, because like we're with that format, we're like feels like we're in people's faces a bit more. 'Cause
Yeah.
we were doing a drop every 2 months or 3
But
months.
it's not annoying, like in
Yeah,
because
but
it's,
at least it's
something
fresh
different.
content.
Yeah.
You're not pushing the same product for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
It's like as if people aren't going to get annoyed with that.
And
you
like,
know?
especially the one thing I notice a lot as well, because you're working on those pieces for so long before the public see it, you're even more sick of seeing the same
Yeah,
shit.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
forget that it's fresh in people's
Yeah,
faces. And you're
100%.
Like, you feel like you just looked at this the last
There's
Yeah.
always wait till you see what's coming.
Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck? We just saw this. Like, what do you mean? So I think, I'm not sure if I mentioned before.
Oh, yeah. So the pandemic. So yeah, we were looking for spaces around that same time anyway, into a bigger space.
Yeah.
And we were lucky. The real estate, like the real estate industry, was in a little bit of trouble, and they were they were getting lease cancellations everywhere. Like,
Oh, wow.
because no one knew what the landscape of business would look like in 9 or 12 months' time. People were just canning their leases, and agents couldn't fill factories. They couldn't fill. So anyone who was looking for a factory was treated like royalty.
Wow.
So we were in a really good spot where like we were in a really good position and signed a really like a good lease at a good price. And it just, for us, like as a business, like it's obviously scary because it's another big overhead.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where like you'd understand it too. Like when you're in a business, it's all about, you just got to keep taking chances.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to be, you've almost got to like be, have a little bit of fear in you all the time, I reckon.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
It's almost riskier not to take the risk.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
things just
Because you get comfortable
and just go stale. Yeah, 100%. I remember when I messaged you guys to like do this, I was like, because the whole motto, for lack of a better word, but like getting comfortable, being uncomfortable. Like it's pretty like, and I always say this as well. I always say on my podcast, fuck, that was cliche what I just said. and then all my mates are like, stop saying that. Like, it's fucking annoying. But it literally
here he
is.
comes.
Here it comes again. That's that time in the episode. We're about 40 minutes in. That's cliche as fuck, man. But no, like, it's so true. Like, I've, like, coming from Adelaide to here, just for example, like the fucking traffic compared to Adelaide is literally, it's like a country town. Like and getting from like suburb to suburb isn't freeways. Like it's literally, have you guys spent much time in Adelaide?
A little bit.
Yeah. You'd know the difference in traffic.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
it is fucking chalk and cheese. It is chalk and cheese.
it's a sleepy city compared to
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Yeah. And like just coming here and just going back to the fact of like being getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, like just driving here, it was like, okay, like this is going to be like, I don't even know where the fuck I'm going. Like I got to get.
I don't know if you're going to be able to get home.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm driving my sister's car. It's got an oil leak, so I might not make it back. Who knows? But I like going back to what the reason I was like wanted to mention it is because like, and it relates so much to business. Like, if you're like you said, if there's not that little bit of fear or you're not uncomfortable, then you're not fucking growing at all. Whether it be
100%.
like as a person or like in your business.
Yeah.
Like if you're just comfortable, then it's just like there's no fun in it at all.
Exactly.
And
That's
like-
where it
Completely
gets
true, man.
exciting.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
And that's where you can start to overcome these things, and that's where you feel the progress of
Yeah.
Yep.
everything.
100%. So did I'm not sure which one of you said, but do you have experience in like garment production? Did you?
Yeah, I did quite a bit at Insight.
Okay, yeah.
So my role at Insight was half of my role was graphic artist. So I was just making artwork for T graphics. I was also a product designer as well. So I started in knitwear and then I moved. Sorry.
Well done.
I started in knitwear.
I didn't say that.
And then I moved to, I think I was doing like jerseys. So T-shirts and fleece. And then I moved into board short design because they were like a bit more of a surfy kind of label as well. So I got a lot of experience there working with, production teams and manufacturing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Plus they had some really good talent there for creative direction.
Oh, yeah.
The guys that he was working with now are like some of the best creative directors in the world.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, that's sick. It was insane, like the opportunity there. Like it was funny when I went for the job, my goal was to just try and find someone that could mentor me and I could just soak up as much as I could.
Yeah, yeah.
And I went for my interview on Skype and met the head designer, Robbie.
Yeah.
And like one of the first things he said was like, I just want to unleash all the knowledge that I have and just like teach.
He said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, we got to do this.
I'm here for that.
We got to do this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
So I was there for a couple of years and kind of the same time I left, the head designer, Robbie, who was a good mate of ours, he got poached by Nike and he ended up working on Converse, he was working on Jack Purcell, which was like a division of Converse, and then now he's working on all the merch for, I think it's Universal Studios. So it's like he basically designs like Kanye's, like Travis Scott,
wow.
like huge artist.
So is he in the US or is he still based?
In the US,
okay.
yeah. So he was in New York and then he now lives in LA.
Sick.
But he basically designs all the merch for about 200 artists. Billie Eilish, like huge artists, Rolling Stones, crazy, like huge name.
Never ending work.
He mentored him.
That's fucked. For how long?
It was about 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so sick. So how old were you at that point?
At that point, I was in my early 20s. So I would have been like maybe 22, 23 through to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you boys now?
I'm 32.
I'm 33.
Yeah, sick. I'm 20,
we're OGs
20
in the game,
23 with it right now.
You're 23, dude. You're just starting. You're doing it at the right age.
No, that's the thing. Like when Harry and I started, we were like, I think 19. But like I said before, fucking no experience in, like, I can't hold a fucking pencil. Like we literally have our designer who we're really fortunate that we grew up with in Kingston, and the school at Kingston's like an art of 12, like the entire school, and it's like 200 students all up.
Wow.
So like you're in a class of, when you start in reception, you go through with them to year 12, and there's like usually your class is usually about 20 kids, like in total.
Wow.
Yeah. So Abby Parker, her name is. She was overseas for quite a bit. She got stuck overseas, like in fucking in Ireland, I think, last year during COVID. But she's been back for like the last, I think maybe 6 to 8 months. But she's so talented, like just in so many different disciplines. Like any sort of style of design that we ask for her to do, we just obviously send her ideas and our concepts and stuff. Like she achieves them. Like
that's awesome.
So
if you
well,
can find someone like that, man, hold on to them.
And
good help, man, is very hard to find. We're so lucky that we got the boys we do, because we'd be screwed without them for sure.
But it's you need like a little bit of that though, don't you? Like 100%. a little bit of luck, but then also you got to be willing to like seek out those people and like ask for help. Essentially,
at some point you got to admit to yourself that you're spreading yourself too thin, and it's gonna come at a detriment to the business. The final product of what you create is just not going to be as good as what it can if you don't have that power behind it, I guess. But
100%.
So like I guess like in terms of like what I was going to ask next, to do with like your custom manufacturing, have all your pieces from the beginning been cut and sew? Have they, or have
No.
you used? Did you use blanks in the beginning? Or?
Yeah, so we and people hit us up all the time, new labels who want advice.
Yeah, we literally got a message today,
Yeah.
like asking where because our hats are like custom.
Yeah.
Same thing, like, and you're more than willing to help, but it's like then like it's such a, it's not just this one simple answer,
Yeah.
is it?
No,
Is that sort of what you're going to say? Like it's not
Yeah.
just like okay, this is
Well,
what you do.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. we get hit up like asking that, and like we tell everyone who is starting out the same thing because it's a path we took, and it's probably the start with blanks and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
just, like find yourself a little spot in the market.
Yeah.
See what graphics and stuff your customers like, and like learn how to, manage inventory, pack an order, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, all that little things. And it seems like straightforward just saying it, but like when you got all these things going on at once and you're designing and you have orders coming in and you got to deal with, embroiderers and screen printers and all this stuff, last thing you want to have to do is worry about the production of the garments.
Yeah.
Like, learn that part of the business
This
and
is-
then worry about.
this is perfect right now because like I'll be able to post this. And it's coming from you guys, so that the people that are asking are going to be able to watch this and
We're
be like,
doing all you do.
okay, yeah, literally.
I think of it as like graduating, whereas
Yeah.
like your blanks is like, high school and stuff. And you come out of
Yeah.
high school in year 12 and you know what you want to do now. Okay, cool. I want to study X or whatever.
Yeah,
Now, and then naturally you'll progress to wanting like, blanks just can't offer what we want. We
Yeah.
want like a thick neck ribbing. We want a 200 GSM. We want, this color fabric and all this stuff. So
yeah,
we just graduated from that to your basic clothing like tees, fleece and stuff. Got
Yep.
a hand on that. And then graduated into like more technical garments like jackets, pants and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
now we've got I'd say a decent hand in it. Like we're definitely keep getting better at it. Even
Yeah.
we still make a shitload of mistakes.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All the time. There's never one that goes smoothly.
yeah,
There
Nah.
really isn't. Like you think you got a hold on it, and then you're like, man, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And like literally, like, how do you fix it?
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, what are we actually going to do?
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting. That's a good. I'll be able to snip that bit. That's a highlight, I reckon.
Sick.
How long have we been going? I don't want to hold you up too long, but I guess sort of. I was going to ask about like obviously the your business sort of model or concept. Like you're very big on limited pieces. So like, has that been from the beginning, or is that something you learnt and then implemented?
Yeah, that kind of stemmed from the start where we were running as a gallery. And we actually started with a few of our key cut and sew pieces. We actually numbered them. So it was a similar concept to when you have like an artwork and you have a print run.
Yeah.
So you might have a run of 30 prints for that artwork and then you just don't print anymore.
That's it, yeah.
So we started running that same concept on the jackets. So some of our earlier jackets on the inside, you'd have like a number like 2 of 30.
Yeah, yeah.
Which was pretty difficult.
I was about to say that would be fucking.
Yeah.
That's
Not
all
scalable.
different setup.
It's
fees,
not
isn't it?
scalable.
Yeah.
Wow,
Definitely
it's cool
not
though.
scalable. So that was cool, but it was tricky. But
Yeah.
that's the basis of where the limited runs came from, and we just didn't, you don't want to go out and just see a million people in this. Like you don't
Yeah.
want to go somewhere and have the same guy wearing the same thing you
Exactly.
are. So,
Yeah.
and that's why we run that kind of layout with our collections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We definitely took so we've moved to that model now as well
Yeah. Nice.
because of you boys, I reckon.
Oh, sweet.
It's always been like we've literally until this probably the last drop we did. It come up to that point of like we tried so many different things. Like the last thing we did was like it was all pre-order, but then like there's just the cons of that. Just we were annoyed by, and
Yeah.
Pre-order can be tricky.
Yeah,
'cause people don't want to wait.
they don't want to wait. And then also like for example, we did like a batch of just these like basic cream tees with like a pink embroidery. Sort of I think it was like 3 or 4 months ago, and we like obviously they were blanks. We ordered the blanks in, got them done. We ordered the blanks, and there was a fuck up on the blank provider's end where we bought obviously everything we needed, and the most popular size was XL, and they were back ordered. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude.
we thought we had everything. We're like, fuck, we should have like an extra 10 to 15 teas here.
I actually
And then-
remember. I remember having this same problem when we were
Yeah.
using blanks like early days. And
Yeah.
you'd go to order and they'd be like, "We've only got 10 XL."
That's
Well,
right. Yeah,
no, but the thing was like when we I ordered online, it had the number there. There was plenty in stock.
Yeah.
Ordered, and then when they arrived like 3 days later, I was like, I emailed them straight away, and they just said like, oh yeah, you should have got a notification. It should have come up and said like these are on back order, and
Dude,
it took
that's-
like it was 10 to 12 weeks for those XLs to come.
So did you sell them pre-sale?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
they were all
right.
they were all pre-sale, pre-order,
dude.
So
and
did you have heaps of customers hitting you up going,
the lucky thing was a lot of the XLs were people we knew,
"Oh yeah,"
and there was only probably a few that we didn't know. So like we were,
Yeah.
just like very apologetic.
I just
like,
had a-
very, I'm so sorry.
I just had a flashback, Brownie. Do you remember when we used to pre-wash all our blanks?
"Oh yeah."
Wow.
So
Jeez.
this is like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if it might have changed a bit, but Gildans, when you first got them, they would shrink like a full
Yeah,
size.
yeah.
It was a pain in the ass.
So you
and we had so
did
many
it-
people. So what we would do is we would literally order them from Gildan and wash them all in our washing machines, dry them, and then
was
label
crazy.
them afterwards.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, because we
Yeah.
were sick of the complaints, and we were like, we wanted to like not deal with complaints, so we used
Yeah.
to pre-wash all the garments. I
Yeah.
just remember like
Wow.
my apartment would just have t-shirts lined up. They'd be on chairs.
How many are we
lines
talking?
all around
Like-
the apartment. Like we'd be washing. We'd probably do like between us like a couple hundred teas.
Yeah.
Like,
Holy fuck.
yeah, and like we'd just be washing them. And I wish I had photos. My apartment would just be full of like these yellow teas, just like lined up
Yeah.
and down the apartment.
In
Wow.
the studio, everything, we'd have them out in the sun.
They'd be
like-
going
Yeah.
out like some of them still be a little bit damp when they're getting packed in orders and shit.
Yeah,
I
they
bet-
arrive all misty and
I just remember that now.
Yeah, that's and I took it like so. I've read. You guys would be aware of like Bobby Hundreds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I don't know if you ever read. Have you ever read his book?
No, what's it called
It's
again?
called "This Is Not a T-Shirt."
Yes, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen the book and I've listened to interviews with him.
Yeah. So I
Fascinating dude.
have the book. That's just sitting on our coffee table all the time, and it's in the shot of my podcast and stuff. But what I was going to say was like how you mentioned going back that far and how you wish you had photos of it and stuff.
Yeah.
He actually like in the book he has photos of like his fucking tiny little apartment where there's boxes stacked up to the
that's
roof
so
and
sick.
shit. So like I've taken like so much inspo from that of like just capturing everything.
Good
Like
move,
at the
yeah.
moment, me and Harry are just like in our garage at home, and it's
dude.
like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and also
I'm so glad
always
you've taken photos of that stuff because I
Yeah.
Yeah.
had so many photos
Yeah.
in the early
And it's
days.
like-
100%.
in the moment, it's like fuck, like this is still so this is still so enjoyable. I'm literally just sitting at home doing this in my own garage, and it's like I'll take photos of these and then look back on them in like 5 years' time a bit
Yep.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely
But-
the
It's
journey.
sick.
yeah.
I wish we did that more. We were lucky that like when we were doing events and stuff, we got heaps of photos of that kind of thing. But all those little behind the scenes, like, you know,
Yeah.
hanging teas out on the line,
Yeah.
like, you know, like
It's so sick.
good.
And that I feel like you cut like your audience is fucking really interested in that as well. Like that's
Yeah.
why
People want to see the struggle. for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
And like that's
yeah.
why a massive reason as to why I started the podcast. And Harry, he's the funniest bloke I know, but he's not very like he's come on the podcast and he's been funny, but he's not like heaps loud about it. He's just, but to his
Yeah.
close mates, he's
Yeah.
fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like when I wanted to like start this podcast like 12 months ago, I asked him if he wanted to do one with me and make it like as a part of Devon Street.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not that keen. And I was like, okay. So then 6 months ago, I was like, what do you think if like I do it myself? And obviously it's got its own name, but it's all affiliated with Devon Street. And then that way we can like cross promote between the two.
Yeah.
And having like
nice.
all
Good idea, man.
yeah, having like all of
It's
this
a good idea.
behind the scenes stuff, being able to actually like explain the process of everything in the
Yeah.
longer form content, which you can't portray just through like Instagram tiles and shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
No, it's very
I wanted
interesting.
to ask
but-
you, where did the Devon Street name come from?
So when Harry first moved up from Adelaide, from like Kingston,
Yeah.
we actually moved away to like Port Lincoln for a little bit. But when we first moved to Adelaide when we were like 18, 19,
Yeah.
that was the first street he lived on.
Oh, yeah.
And then, yeah, we made like so we obviously we had a lot of like old friends there, and then we made a lot of like new friends at that house. And like when we were trying to like figure out what the name of like what our brand should be and shit, we were literally like Googling stuff like cool names and shit. And it's like none of this even like relates, or we can't relate to any of this. And then I just remember saying like, why don't we call it like something to do with like Devon Street? And we were just like, yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah. And it just like, since then it's never been like, we've never been like, oh, I don't know about that name, just because it means so much to us, I guess.
Yeah.
What about, is the snake hole like a similar sort of story?
Kind of came from the studio, yeah. Like, the gallery is called the Snake Hole, and then like the label just kind of eventuated from, like, we did, the way the label started was we actually we were just going to do some merch tees for the gallery, and they went really well. It was actually the surf shop that we met in. They started stocking, because we were designing some of their clothes for their
ranges, vertical ranges in the surf shop.
Yeah. So we did a lot of like garment graphics before we started the Snake Hole, and we were kind of like, doing all these graphics for lots of surf labels and skate labels and things like that. And we were like, man, we're getting paid donuts. These guys are just making bank off our artwork. So why don't we just do it ourselves? Yeah. And that was kind of like why we ended up, starting to take it seriously. But we just did the clothes for the gallery. So that was kind of where the name came from. It's a pretty obscure name, but I guess you remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I remember the first thing that stood out to me when I first came across you guys was like literally your logo, like how sick, like how simple it was, but like I just remember it, just the snake. I was like, fuck, that is so good.
Yeah,
like,
we didn't have a logo for years.
Yeah, it was just like type. Hey,
yeah, we just had a type logo, and then we're like,
I feel like you got to let it develop though.
Yeah,
you got to like, you don't really know who you are at the very beginning.
Man, it's so
to be
hard
honest.
designing your own logo.
Yeah,
like we do it a million times for other brands and stuff, but doing it for yourself is so hard. And it's one of those things you can't just like sit there and be like, all right, cool, let's design a logo. You kind of just got to wait until it happens,
Absolutely. Till you actually
one
understand.
One of our mates actually remember Jack got it tattooed on his hand.
Oh, sick.
Someone's got it on the hand.
That's
full job stopper.
Yeah, so wow. What was my name?
You're both, mate.
What am I? Special two.
Special two.
The special two. Yeah.
You're punching arms.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's funny you say that. You know how? So I explained to you before the push pull boys who are basically they're in Melbourne as well.
Yep.
They've been posting like the last probably 3 weeks. They've had like, I'm going to say maybe like 5 or 6 people literally just getting massive tattoos of their logo, like on their chest,
awesome.
on their legs and shit.
That's awesome.
It's fucking killer.
That is rad.
So good.
Yeah, we've got a few bung leg tats with our own graphics on
Yep,
it.
I like that.
Home job ones.
Fuck, me and Harry are probably due for that.
Yeah.
We'll have to do it. You have to do it, I think.
Yeah,
Is it
we
like
had we used to
Caitlin.
stupidly bring a tattoo machine into the studio after having beers, just tattoo each other's legs.
So Trizzo,
unreal.
Trizzo, who we shoot a lot of our gear in for our photo shoots.
Yeah.
He's like covered in tats, but when he was like, he was like super young. He would have been like 18, and he just bought a tattoo gun
off eBay.
Sorry, not a gun. Apparently, it's a what is it?
Tattoo machine.
It's a tattoo machine.
If you would call his one that, it looked like a prison one.
Oh wow!
He just bought it off eBay.
Really
and
blunt
he's like,
needles.
boys, I got a tattoo machine. Like, let's have a night. And we were like, whoa. And he ended up like a couple of boys played noughts and crosses on his leg.
And he wanted to figure out how to use it, but he had nothing to use it on. So we'll do a practice one on my leg.
Oh wow! On the thigh.
And then
Perfect
he's
spot for
gone. We'll play noughts and crosses, and he lost on his own leg.
Wow, that's fucked. How long have you been going? Yeah, we're tracking well. These are probably my last questions that I wanted to ask. Bit of like a hot seat type setup.
Oh shit!
Oh, rapid fire.
Favorite? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Your favorite up and coming brand?
Ooh,
Oh.
probably I really like Candace.
Yeah,
a
Candace
Melbourne
for you.
brand.
Yeah, Harry's a fucking
Nick.
fiend for Candace too.
Yeah, dude, they're doing really well. I didn't realize they'd only been around for like a couple of years. I thought they were way more established than that because their art direction is really good.
I saw their pieces in Fast Times the other day.
Really sick, man. I reckon they're like Melbourne's answer to like a Brain Dead. I reckon.
Yeah, they're that really like they are bold graphics and stuff, aren't
I
they?
really, really like them. I reckon, I've spoke to Nick a couple times on IG. Really, props to him and the brand. They look really good.
Yeah, I agree. Is it a pretty like big group of them? Is there?
I don't know how many there are. I don't know if it's him and some other crew or whatever, but I've spoke to him a couple of times, just like DM, just props really. But
sick. Nah, that's a good one. I like that. Do you have one, Josh?
Probably not up and coming because they've been around for a while, but some of the local Melbourne brands like Most and Common Dust, like really dig those guys' work, and they just do a sick job. Like they've got their own style and they've found their kind of their market there, and
and they're good dudes.
It's sick how they do like I've only seen the footage, but like how it's like a Most mini mart.
Dude, those are so fresh,
the little
dude.
blue, like the little.
That was one of those ones where
so
I
sick.
saw it and I'm like, I wish we thought.
Yeah, I know. It's so simple and everything, but it's like, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah,
very
100%.
clever.
Yeah.
Very clear. Yep. Love
So,
those guys.
yeah, last night, Fat Cat release.
Yep.
How did it go? Good?
Good. Yeah,
Good?
very happy with the.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Fat Cat pant's like a staple for us now. We just keep bringing out new colours, and we paired it up with the jacket. Stoked on how it all went.
Yeah,
it went
sick.
really, really well.
Is there any pieces left right now?
There are, I'm looking at the boxes now. There's one full box there, and
Sick.
that one looks like it's almost empty next to it.
Cool. That'll this episode's going to come out next week, so we'll make sure we push.
Sick.
Nice.
Hopefully, there's some. I've got another mate, Sam, who he loves your quarter zips.
Sick.
As well.
yeah,
He's a massive quarter zip fan, so he'll be. I'll make sure he's all over it. The Fat Cat drop. I'll let him know tonight so he doesn't miss out. This is my last question. Is there anything outside of clothing that's like you're planning for, like you're sort of planning for the future at the moment that you can sort of like touch on, or is it all like classified right now?
We're pretty.
We've got a couple fun collabs we're working with on the way with both some stores and some other brands.
Sick.
They're going to be coming, but in terms of like what we want to do, we've talked like we really want to do like some homewaresy stuff, which a few brands have been kind of doing lately.
Have you done like mats before?
We started working on them, and we had a few roadblocks, and we had to jump off. Which is like, as you probably know, the nature of it. Sometimes, like you just can't get it to work at the time, so we kind of pulled the pin.
We're pretty. Sorry, you go.
Yeah, so I would love to do. If there's one thing I would love to do, I would love to do a shoe.
Yeah,
Someone.
sick.
Yeah.
Anyone.
Yeah. Say that one down
I'll
the barrel.
take anyone.
Me. Very good.
Yeah, I would love to do a shoe. That would be like a bucket list thing for me.
Yeah. It would be really cool to do just some like total left center products. Like, and we have talked about like lately we've talked about putting a few in the collection, but in terms of like total different products, not anything to do with clothing, we haven't really got too much in the pipeline. We're pretty focused on what we're doing at the moment and getting it right. But yeah, definitely in the future, like that, we definitely want to kind of go a bit left of center. And
Have you put like much? Because obviously, what we like Harrison and I do is like clothing, obviously first, but then we like to, like we do have like quite a big focus on events and stuff as well.
Yeah.
To help, obviously, like we've spoken a lot about to grow.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much you can do online until you actually have people in person, and like whether it's just a piss up or it's like your gallery type setup. That's how you're going to cross, I guess, like get different audiences in to then
That's the
recognize you and
community
stuff.
side.
That's probably a really good one to finish up on. Was like we the video you come out with last week. Were they called People Who?
Oh yeah,
and they did that video with you.
Yep.
How you spoke a lot about like how important it is to like obviously build the community and everything. Would you say that like your events and stuff that you've held since the very beginning and like your gallery set up and everything, that would have, is that like the driving factor
100%.
in? Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, for sure. And it's been hard lately because we've had like plans to do launches and they've just
2 in a row been cancelled.
last year and this year.
Yeah.
So we're like hanging out to do some more events when we can. But yeah, that is huge. And we love like just being able to chat with everyone and
absolutely
have a conversation, have a beer with our customers and And
It's sick to be at because we've got like an event coming up at this heaps cool new space that's just sort of recently opened up in Adelaide towards the end of the year for like our new summer range, and that's when we're hoping
Sick.
to that's like our first cut and sew sort of setup. So
man,
we're at the
congratulations.
we're at the
Seeing that,
very
man.
we're at the
Damn.
very sort of beginning. We're about 5-6 months away now. So we're at
Sick.
literally I get back Friday. Me and Harry are like going to meet with a few people to get it all set up, but.
sick.
I just wanted to like highlight how important it is and how much effort you put into like doing those events and then getting other creatives in as well. Like we plan to have like other people of different disciplines in.
Yeah, nice.
So then their
Great
audiences
idea,
can
man.
come and everyone can just like
Yeah. I think there's a
do shit together.
100%. Like I think collabs and stuff is really good. A lot of, I feel like some people kind of feel like, there's competition, but it's like, it's not like that at all.
100%.
You need to support each other,
Yeah.
support other brands and like help each other grow as labels, through those events. We did,
We're all on the same. Yeah, we're all on the same like team, which is like Australian streetwear. Right?
Yeah.
We're trying to get like people who wouldn't. Maybe they shop at like maybe they buy a bloody like Rip Curl or something like that at the moment. Or so we're trying to like really everyone's on the same team because if they've heard of, most, then they've probably also heard of, like Candace or like heard of you guys or heard of us even and stuff like that. And I think that like people are going to cross-pollinate between brands a little bit anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
like,
100%,
If we
yeah.
can just get like, I had someone hit me up last night. I was talking to the DMs and they were like, "What other brands are like you guys?" And then I just told them to check out Candace, check out Mother's and like, if everyone is doing that shit, the whole the rising tide rises all ships, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's how it needs to be treated. It's not like we're all fighting for one bit of cake.
Yeah, 100%. And goes hand in hand with like how I was saying, obviously like the culture in Adelaide for what we're trying to create isn't necessarily massively there at the moment, but that's what it's building. But like over the last, I think, and I've mentioned them on a few episodes ago, there's a new brand called like Outdated Collective who are new on the scene in Adelaide as well. Cool. And he like, so I think it's two of them that create the two lads that run it. But like they hit me and Harry up and said like, you boys like were inspiration to actually do it.
Sick, dude.
And
How good is getting those
and
messages?
getting that message was like,
awesome.
fuck, like you mean you literally.
It makes
Your
you
mission
weak,
is
that.
your mission's like
That's so
achieved to an
sick,
extent.
yeah.
And then like they're at the very early stages of what they're doing, but like I can when you can really relate to other lads or girls that are trying to do like a similar thing and their drive and passion for it, you can like tell with like
They're
language
for
like
real.
language they use and like what they understand and everything like that. Even regardless of like how early on they are in what they're doing, like I feel like you can really tell
and people,
how passionate they are.
And people can see that too. Like, people can see that your brand has like some real guts to it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. They can see through that. Like if you're like just peddling shit product and not really putting effort in designs. Like, how many sponsored ads do you see for shit? Models at the moment,
I know.
right? And you can see there's no substance to them. You can
Yeah.
see- and everyone can see that from a mile away. Like they're just jumped on like
trying to make a quick buck.
you can see from a mile away, and people can see that because I've always said like people buy the brand before they buy the story before they buy the product.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
100%.
Story. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I reckon that's probably how long have we gone? That's good timing, I reckon, man. All right.
Waffled on for too long.
Yeah, we've been waffling. We've been talking about fucking boxing for about 30 minutes. But I'd just like to say thank you very much for having me in. It's been an
Thanks for
absolute
having us.
pleasure.
Absolute pleasure.
I've
bro.
got a new crew.
Yes.
How many of these? Are these like the...
They came out. When did they come out? A few weeks ago.
There's a drop before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a few pieces obviously still left online, including the Fat Cat release that came out
Yes.
last night, which was Monday night.
Yep.
It'll be a week up until then. So obviously if there's any pieces left still online after you listen to this, make sure you get on it straight away. The Snake Hole on Instagram, I feel like that's the pathway which everyone seems to take these days anyway. And other than that, it's been good.
It's been good, mate.
Thanks
for coming
boys.
down.
It's a pleasure. Enjoy.
Yeah. Thanks,
Cheers,
man.
mate.